Representing the School of Business is Roxanne Coy.
Thank you, son. Good morning, everyone. My name is Roxanne Coy, and I'm going to venture a guess that I'm the oldest student speaker on the stage today. First generation. I'm so grateful and blessed to be a member of this graduating class, and I'm humbled and honored to have been chosen to speak to you today about my journey. As I said, I'm 51 years old, single mother of 4 beautiful grown children, and a grandmother to 4 exquisite grandchildren. I was a teen mom and a high school dropout. I shouldn't be here today. I struggled. I apologize, I'm going to try to get through this without crying, but I've already failed. So, I struggled with addiction in my youth. For most of my life, I've carried the shame of being a high school dropout and a former addict. But today, thanks to God and this wonderful school, I can put that shame down forever. I started my educational journey over 10 years ago at another online institution. It was not a good fit. A few years later, I found this school, and actually, now I know that God found it for me. By this time, one of my children had become involved with drugs. She's beautiful, talented, kind-hearted, but that poison got her and held on to her. She gave me one of my grandchildren, a beautiful boy with a heart like his mama. Unfortunately, she became unable to care for him, and I assumed that role shortly before his 2nd birthday. I dropped out of college twice because it was my responsibility to save her. I'm her mother, and I promised her and my grandson that I would never give up on her, and I never have. My efforts consumed every part of my life: my job, my education, personal relationships, and relationships with my other children. Most days I did not know where she was. I only knew she was with people who were harming her. Every day in my head, I was screaming, crying, and curled up on the floor, but outwardly I had to keep going because I had a small child to take care of again. In 2019, I decided to re-enroll in school. I'd made the decision to pursue a license as a nursing home administrator because I know that it's my purpose and my mission. I had recently located my daughter at that time, and she had come back to me in Mason. I thought things were finally on track, and it was safe to make a choice for myself. I reached out to Hallmark to see what steps I needed to take. Pamela McCrae was very kind, but very firm about what would be required. I had to write an essay explaining why this time would be different and what my plan was to stay in school. She pointed out that my daughter was still an addict, and that would not be different. She gave me a few days to write this paper. On the day I was to write and submit my essay, my daughter relapsed and left the house. I had planned to write a victory paper, proudly detailing my miracle. That miracle died that day. I stared at that paper for hours, and I decided to give up. It was not time. My time would never come. I was trapped in a nightmare with my daughter and my poor little boy. And then Mason came into the room. He wanted a hug, and he wanted to show me a little toy. It was such a simple little gesture, but it fortified me. So I wrote that essay. It was not about a miracle. I didn't get to have that. It was about choosing myself and choosing my education. I didn't have to chase my daughter into this nightmare. It was okay for me not to give up on my own dream. So I wrote that paper, and they let me back in. Along the way, I had obstacles and challenges, but this school absolutely would not let me give up, and God bless them for that. The faculty and staff were there for me on every step of this journey. They encouraged me and made me accountable, and here I am. I'm standing here with my family in the audience, all of them. I just want you all to know, especially my children and my grandbabies, and my classmates, we are never alone. God is always there, and He gives us tools and resources we need to get where we need to be. He gave me this school, this wonderful place that made it possible for me to do something wonderful with my life, and I will always be grateful to this beautiful university. Remember, we cannot write our beginning, but we can always write our story and change our circumstance. So, for my family and my friends and everybody, this is for all of us. Today is for all of us. Thank you. Oh gosh.